What I'm driving right now, actually I'm not, I'm parked in traffic, but you get to watch the review of, is my second most favorite car. It's the Honda Civic SI 2003 hatchback. So this has almost become a collector's car. What makes it unique is they took the Acura RSX, the base motor, threw it in the Civic SI, made it a hatchback, and then, top it all off, there's your center console shifter. Not too many have those. I know the newer models do now, but they're not as lively as this thing. I mean, this car will literally try to kill you. Seriously. When I drove this vehicle after that 2 weeks, I went out on an exit ramp, facing one way, and back end went loose, 90 degrees right to the barricade. I tried to correct, punched the throttle, turned into the oversteer, ended up scraping that back outside wheel up against the barricade, swerved a little bit more, scraped the back left wheel. We're talking within degrees of hitting the mirrors and the rest of the body panels. Man, was I lucky. But you know what? I don't question the car's ability one bit, because I was maxing it out on a slick ramp in the fall when it was cold, and you know, those slimy elements of all the leaves falling and everything, it's probably down to the tires and the driver. It's not the car. This is still a very nimble car. I was really pushing it that day. You can really have a lot of fun in the turns with this car, and in doing so, it kind of makes you not want to, you know, drive anything else. It gets great gas mileage, talking 26, 27 in the city, and 31 on the highway. And that's not even doing my part. I mean, I'm going above the speed limit to do that. Try doing that in a normal car, 10 years old, it's kind of hard to do. Not saying it can't be done. Toyota Corollas do that all day long, but they don't have the same capacity as this hatchback offers. So it's really generous in its space, really useful in its features, and what's really great, it's a Honda. You don't have to worry about things going wrong on it like your electronics. Little things, switches here and there. Everything's going to work like it's intended for many generations to come. First thing that's going to happen is it's going to rust around the rear wheel wells, which is very common in most cars, but that's typically the first thing to go on your vehicles. This one has a timing chain. What else do you need to do? Okay, so when the car's not trying to kill you, what's so awesome about it? Outside of the center console shifter, knowing it's a Honda and not a Toyota, we have something that gets about 27 miles per gallon in the city, 31, 32 on the highway. Realistic numbers, not trying to take it slow or anything. Going well above the speed limit, but you know, it's the way you get through town, the way you shift through the gears. You do have to get third gear to hit 60, so the 0 to 60 times might be a little shot, but who's really doing that? Mainly, if you're just driving around town, you want pep in every gear in the city, and this thing has it. The way it's geared, second gear is a little quick, so you can, once you start moving, throw it in second, leave it there and just have fun. And that's what this car really does well, is just letting you have fun. Take a couple of your guys with you, or friends, have a great weekend. I mean, there's nothing to this car that screams overkill, and there's nothing that says this is a cheap car. They did a really nice balance on just making it affordable, and yet the important things that matter, things you might grab onto, like the steering wheel, the shifter, the brake pedals, emergency brake, all the switches, it's made to last. You know that in the back of your mind, and that alone is just awesome. It's a lot of hatchbacks, you run into a problem where if you can't fit your passengers behind you, what good is it? So I'm sitting at the seat, having adjusted it forward, and that is the space which your passenger is going to find comfortable for around the town, maybe 30, 45 minutes. The sound on this car is pretty good. Now, I do have an aftermarket surround sound setup, but there are the factory speakers. Little guys up here, main speakers here on either side. And then in the back, they're actually located right there. You have the RSX base motor in it. I think it's 160 horsepower, like 125, 140 maybe foot-pounds of torque, somewhere in there. Really peppy motor, but the gearing, you have to shift in third to get 60. What that does for you in the city is you can just punch it and go. You don't have to worry about downshifting. If you're in gear, you're revving up a high enough RPM, and the only downside is when you're on the highway, I think when you're turning 80, you're running at something like 3,800 RPM. It's up there. More and more we're finding space for our cup holders. So let's give you an idea of what this car has. Right there, special little cup holder with, you know, adjustableness. So the only downside is when I bought this, I had to clean this whole thing out because someone's coffee went in there when they jammed on the brakes. But hides away pretty nice. Then you go to here. So we have a hidden cup. We can put a larger cup there and a smaller cup, and that slides away for your CDs, or if you have a big gulp, you could cram it down in there, which I don't do. But then we have one more, which my phone's occupying. So there's 4 cup holders for all 4 people. So that's pretty good. There's no place in the back seat for them, but they can use that one in the center. So for your beverages, you're good.